Hello, I'm Aloma. Welcome to my channel. Here we'll discuss everything health and lifestyle related. Shout out to my 92 subscribers. We're almost at 100, let's keep going. The information in this video is intended for educational purposes and as a talking point to discuss with your partner, daughter, girlfriends, or healthcare providers. It is not intended to diagnose or treat any diseases. Please speak with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or lifestyle. There will be multiple videos in this series, so please consider subscribing. Understanding the different phases of the menstrual cycle is crucial for demystifying your body's natural processes. Let's get into it. In part 1 of Demystifying Your Menstrual Cycle series, we'll be discussing 1. What is the menstrual cycle? 2. What is a normal cycle? 3. The cast members that are associated with the menstrual cycle, aka the hormones involved. The menstrual cycle is like a well-orchestrated symphony in the female reproductive system. It is a natural and regular process designed to prepare the body for the possibility of pregnancy. This intricate cycle involves a series of hormonal and physiological changes that ultimately lead to the release of an egg from the ovaries, a phase known as ovulation. If fertilization does not occur, the body proceeds to shed the uterine lining, resulting in menstruation. It's important to note that the body goes through this cycle every month, regardless of whether a woman is actively trying to conceive. Over time, various factors such as stress, diet, and age can influence the regularity and characteristics of a woman's menstrual cycle. These factors can sometimes lead to irregularities or changes in the cycle's timing and symptoms. Now that we understand what the menstrual cycle is, what's considered a normal cycle? A normal menstrual cycle is typically considered to be between 21 to 35 days in length, with 28 days being the average for most women of reproductive age. It's important to note that though this is the average, there can be variations among individuals or between cycles. The menstrual cycle can be divided into several distinct phases. Phase 1, the follicular phase. This phase includes both the menstrual period and the days leading up to ovulation. It typically spans the first 13 days of a 28-day cycle. Day 1 of the cycle is defined as the first day of menstrual bleeding. Keep in mind that spotting is not considered the start of the menstrual cycle. Day 1 actually requires blood flow. Phase 2, ovulation. Ovulation, or the release of an egg from the ovaries, typically occurs around the middle of a 28-day cycle, approximately on day 14. This is the phase when a woman is most fertile. Phase 3, luteal phase. Following ovulation, the luteal phase begins and lasts from around days 15 to 28 of a 28-day cycle. After the completion of the cycle, it starts over with the follicular phase, beginning with menstruation. It's important to understand that what's happening is a continuation of a process that was initiated in the previous cycle. If a woman's cycle falls outside the range of 21 to 35 days, it may be considered irregular, and any significant deviations from this range may warrant further investigation. Should you fall outside the normal range, we'll discuss how to calculate your cycle in a subsequent video in this series. Understanding the phases of the menstrual cycle and the hormones involved is crucial for women's reproductive health. If you found this content useful thus far, consider subscribing as our goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. I know, we have some ways to go, but every subscriber counts. Also, consider sharing this video with someone you think may benefit from it. Now that we are familiar with the different phases of the cycle, let's dive a bit into the cast members, also known as the hormones, that impact this process. The 5 key hormones associated with the menstrual cycle are follicle-stimulating hormones, FSH, estrogen, luteinizing hormone, LH, gonadotropin-releasing hormone, GnRH, and progesterone. These hormones work together to ensure the proper functioning of the menstrual cycle and play critical roles in female reproductive health. Let's talk a little bit more about their roles. First, on our list, we have FSH, follicle-stimulating hormone. This hormone is produced by the pituitary gland in the brain and plays a pivotal role in initiating and regulating the menstrual cycle. It is involved, as its name indicates, in follicular development. FSH stimulates the growth and development of ovarian follicles, each of which contains an egg. This is a critical step in preparing for ovulation. It is also involved in estrogen production. FSH also encourages the ovarian follicles to produce estrogen. Estrogen plays a key role in thickening the uterine lining and influencing other aspects of the menstrual cycle. Multiple follicles during each menstrual cycle, typically between 15 to 20, begin maturing under the influence of FSH. Each egg is encased in its own follicle, and these follicles also produce estrogen. As these follicles develop, there is competition among the follicles to determine which one will mature and be released during ovulation first. This competition is part of the natural selection process in the female reproductive system. Second, on our list, we have estrogen. It is responsible for follicle development and is primarily produced by the developing ovarian follicles. It plays a crucial role in promoting the growth and development of multiple follicles in the ovaries during the follicular phase of the menstrual cycle. It is also involved in endometrial thickening of the uterine lining in the follicular phase. This thickened lining provides a nourishing environment for the potential implantation of a fertilized egg. Estrogen also impacts cervical mucus changes as it influences cervical mucus production and quality. During the follicular phase, increased estrogen levels lead to thinner, clearer, and more slippery cervical mucus. This mucus change facilitates the movement of sperm through the cervix and into the uterus, promoting the possibility of fertilization. Third on our list is luteinizing hormone, LH. It is responsible for ovulation, triggering, by causing the dominant or mature follicle to rupture. This rupture releases a mature egg from the ovary, and the LH surge typically occurs around the middle of the menstrual cycle, approximately 24 to 36 hours before ovulation. This surge facilitates the egg's release into the fallopian tube, where it may potentially meet sperm for fertilization. It is also important for the corpus luteum formation. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle transforms into the corpus luteum, playing a pivotal role in the formation and function of the corpus luteum. It stimulates the corpus luteum to produce and release progesterone, a hormone that prepares the uterine lining, endometrium, for the potential implantation of a fertilized egg. This hormone also supports early pregnancy if fertilization occurs. LH also maintains the corpus luteum during the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle by ensuring continued progesterone production. By the corpus luteum, this provides a nurturing environment for potential embryo development. These functions highlight the critical role of LH in regulating ovulation, supporting the early stages of pregnancy, and maintaining the uterine environment for potential embryo implantation and development. Fourth on our list is the gonadotropin hormone, GnRH. It is responsible for production and regulation. GnRH is produced by the hypothalamus, a region of the brain. Its primary function is to regulate the secretion of follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, and luteinizing hormone, LH, from the pituitary gland. It is also considered as a master regulator, controlling the timing and release of FSH and LH throughout the menstrual cycle. It plays a crucial role in orchestrating the hormonal changes that govern various phases of the menstrual cycle, including follicular development, ovulation, and the luteal phase. By controlling the secretion of these key hormones, GnRH ensures the proper functioning and timing of events in the menstrual cycle, ultimately regulating a woman's reproductive health. Last but certainly not least on our list is progesterone. It is primarily produced by the corpus luteum, which forms from the empty follicle in the ovary after ovulation. Following ovulation, the corpus luteum produces progesterone, which helps prepare the uterine lining, endometrium, for the potential implantation of a fertilized egg. It supports early pregnancy if conception occurs. In cases of luteal phase defects, where the second half of the menstrual cycle is shortened or lengthened, maintaining a pregnancy can be challenging. Progesterone, responsible for supporting the uterine lining during this phase, plays a vital role. If the corpus luteum disintegrates prematurely, progesterone levels drop, leading to the shedding of the uterine lining and potentially resulting in miscarriage. Addressing luteal phase defects is essential for those trying to conceive, and consulting a healthcare provider is recommended to explore possible treatments or interventions to support a healthy pregnancy. If pregnancy does not occur, the corpus luteum breaks down, leading to a decline in progesterone levels. This drop in progesterone triggers menstruation, resulting in the shedding of the uterine lining. Progesterone is also responsible for the 3 primary fertility signs, including 1. Changes in cervical fluid. If you want to delve deeper into the topic of cervical fluid, changes and explore the various consistencies leading up to ovulation, make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. We'll be dedicating an entire video to provide you with an up-close look at these changes and valuable insights into understanding your fertility. 2. Waking temperature. When tracking the rise in body temperature to identify the fertile window, it's important to note that the increase in body temperature is primarily caused by the heat-producing hormone, progesterone. Progesterone levels rise after ovulation and contribute to the elevation of basal body temperature, making it a valuable indicator for those monitoring their menstrual cycles and fertility. 3. Cervical position. Throughout the menstrual cycle, the cervix undergoes changes in position, texture, and openness in response to hormonal fluctuation. These signs can be important indicators of a woman's fertility and menstrual cycle health. Let's review what we've learned so far. A normal menstrual cycle typically ranges from 21 to 35 days, with an average of 28 days. The menstrual cycle is a complex interplay of hormones, akin to a symphony orchestra, orchestrating various physiological changes in the female reproductive system. The 5 key hormones central to the menstrual cycle are follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, estrogen, luteinizing hormone, LH, gonadotropin, releasing hormone, GnRH, and progesterone. These hormones serve as essential actors in regulating the menstrual cycle and female reproductive health. If you've made it this far in the video, we greatly appreciate your support by subscribing to our channel. Your subscription encourages us to create more informative content. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found this video helpful, and consider sharing it with someone who could benefit from this information. In our upcoming Part 2 of this series, we'll bring together all the knowledge we've covered and illustrate the road to ovulation. Thank you for being a part of our community. As always, my beautiful caterpillars, I'll see you at the edge of your comfort zone.